priest who commands the rains. Misses up a fire as 1,000 names. Her truth, the desire burns blood in your veins. It's the Indian darkness, it's the heat that heals. Sleeping goddess, only she reveals. Power of peace says to sing the truth. Wrathful the Kini who chants down the moon. Let this luminous light fire flame from within. Humble and demeanor, so sweet without a sin. Kundalini serpent rise from your spine. Suspended in time like a spider on a line. Weaves destinies in the fabric of we. Her majesty as divinity's queen. Initiation through shamanic dream. Dancing through space is one with the king. And a cosmic embrace through her eyes have seen. Her power I taste, the vision is keen. Sharp as a knife that slices illusion. Threshold that holds the sacred soul fusion. A tempest of tomorrow rises like the sun. Through the tears and the sorrow she is born as one. In the womb of creation we are all the same. Eternal elation we are one in name.
Hi everyone, welcome to this 13-day Mayan report for this week. Well, not just this week, for this 13-day cycle. As you can tell, maybe with the clue right there, we are heading into the cycle of the Serpent, Chicchan. You may know just a little known fact I'm going to throw in there. Cancun means nest of serpents. Cancun. And this is Chicchan. So this is the serpent. So what is this 13-day or wave spell about? It is about being in our bodies and really getting into the pleasure, the sensuality of existence, feeling things through the senses. You know, snakes are slithering on the earth. So when we do this, we do tap into an intuition. Our body does have wisdom inside of it, right? And so what I'm going to invite you to do, since tomorrow, Saturday, December 24th, Christmas Eve day, will be the day of setting an intention. So I invite you to set an intention for yourself that is related to this archetype. So being in your body and sensuality, it may, be related to your sex life, to food, to, how you dress, how you treat your body. For example, a good one on a collective level would be to be mindful of eating, because we have these holidays and this kind of pre-wired thinking of like, oh, it's just binge holiday time, people go to holiday feasts, and a different thing would be to try just really listening to our bodies, like really listening, like maybe I don't need to eat this year, or maybe I want to bring a fresh dish, or I don't know, just really taking the time to listen to our bodies and care for our bodies, okay? So that is the first day, and then on Christmas Day, we're going to have the challenge day. So what gets in the way of really honoring our bodies and our sensuality and the wisdom of the body, right? And what gets in the way is the archetype that's presenting itself on Sunday is Kimi, the world bridger. It's about letting go, surrendering, death, releasing that body. The snake, sheds its skin, right? So sometimes we're like very set, like, no, I do things this way, or, I would never show up like this at a holiday party, but really just letting go and allowing ourselves to flow and let go and release and surrender that which doesn't serve us. And that way we're actually open to a new opportunity, like a whole new way of being. And this, is about letting go of patterns, this Christmas Day, like on a collective level. Maybe it just doesn't work to, be a consumer nation. Like I look at it a lot, like on a collective level, what's happening here, and I'll get into it more as we go along, is that, we're shedding of some of these patterns that just don't work on a sustainable level on the planet. The next day we have Monday, which is going to be the third day of the cycle, which is going to be about the hand healing, Manik, the archetype of Manik. And it's about how do we take this intention, couple it with moving through this obstacle of letting go of patterns, and really take this intention and put it to the service of the world. So for example, say, how on this collective level that we've been talking about, how can we as a collective really, offer our healing to humanity instead of our sick our sickness, like how can we offer, hey, like I grew this kale at home and I made this kale salad, or, I mean, I know a lot of us don't grow kale. I am just starting, but again, to grow it. But like, for example, sometimes, you handmade gifts. I don't know. It's just like a gift economy, something that comes more from like, and I mean, I know this would totally go against Chris Witecki's like gift guide, but it's really about being sustainable and really looking at a level of what can you afford to give. There's people, going under foreclosure more than ever, and it's really looking at like, what can I afford? Do I really want to get into more debt? Maybe I do, but just being, what's going to serve the greatest good? I mean, what we see on a collective level is the U.S. government really going into debt, right? So, like, that's the example we have on a collective, and that's a lot of energy there, a whole country, right? So, how about you, and how are you serving? And I'm not political here. I'm not trying to get political. I'm just saying, like, how do you set your intention of really being embodied in service of the world, modeling really for the world? The next day, Tuesday, we're going to have a day of the star, which is about taking an action that will give shape to the intention that you're trying to set. So say, for example, that I am trying to be mindful about my eating. So maybe I'm going to take a raw food, I'm going to cook a raw food meal that day. Or I'm going to start my day with a green drink. Take a small action that will further the intention that you have set for yourself for the 13 days. And the archetype that's nourishing that day is the star, which is Lamat, which is about art, beauty, and elegance. So really like using like that body sensuality in a beautiful way, like maybe setting the table in a beautiful way, which maybe you never do. Or, making your drink beautiful, like a fruit smoothie with a little fruit thing as if you're on a retreat or something really fun like that. Then the next day we have the 28th, which is a Wednesday, and it's about standing in our power and blotting out any energy leaks. And we're going to have the moon archetype on that day, which is Maluk, which is really all about emotions. So where are you emotionally just being dragged all over the place? So perhaps, I'm going to continue with this thread of the overeating, or, which is rampant. We have diabetes as one of the top 3 causes of death in the world right now. So, for example, emotional overeating. Perhaps I'm eating emotionally, and that would be an energy leak. Then we have the 6th day, which is about balance, which will be about on Thursday. And it's like, okay, like you've been really on this thread of like really listening to the body and balancing out my whole life by integrating this energy of the body. And now I need a little break to just kind of like, integrate it into my life. So it's really about honoring the heart and integrating the heart, and it's Oak, the energy of Oak, the dog, that loyalty, that faithfulness, and really having that compassion for yourself in all the spaces where we're not perfect, We're growing, we're evolving, and we're really just getting like a little bit of heart-centered that day, Thursday. Then we have Friday, which is about channeling. What energy am I channeling? The energy that I'm channeling in this wave spell of the snake is the energy of the monkey. The monkey is all about playing and magic and illusion. So it's about seeing through the illusion and how all of these material roles and gifts and all this stuff that we put emphasis, material, is really not real. So it's like about just kind of getting down and funky monkey, playing like a monkey, and just enjoying like a magical child. Then the next day we have Saturday, which is about, oh my gosh, it's the last day of 2011, right? And it's very interesting because we have Eve, which is human, and it's all about free will. So this year, I mean, we could kind of close it up saying that where, right before we, the last thing we let go of before we head into 2012 is that free will. We want to do things our way. Eve, the human, has a dark side, which is, the dark side is that free will. It's like, I'm going to do things my way. It's that, I'm sorry, I take that back. It's not the free will, it's the ego. It's really the ego. It's like when you use that choice to say like, nah, I'm going to do it my way or the highway, and it's like goes kind of against what the whole group consensus is, right? And I'm not talking about like, artistic rebellion or anything like that. I'm talking about really like, when you're with your family, you just ruin everyone's day because you're like, no, I want to go here and I want to do it this way or whatever. That's what I'm talking about, like that kind of like tantrumy energy. So that tantrumy energy gets countries into war, you know what I'm saying? So the dark side of that energy is war, is that free will expression of, like what I just described. And the light energy is really wisdom. It's everything that's been passed down as humans. I mean, we have all these indigenous traditions and cultures that have passed down immense amounts of knowledge. I mean, Chinese medicine is something like 2,000 years old. We have the yoga system, which is something like 5,000 years old. We have all these systems which are human, which have been passed down. So the Mayan calendars, okay? So all this stuff is like, it's like, what are you letting go of in 2011, and what are you bringing with you? So this is something to think about on the 31st, the last day of 2011. And then we're going to start the first day, Sunday, of 2012 with Solar Ben 9, Skywalker. It's about facing fears, exploring, taking a hike, going traveling, getting your to-do list. Tackle what you've been afraid of. It's about, like, you know what? Write down everything that you've been afraid of and commit to making it happen this year. Like all those nookies and crannies of like spaces where you're just like, nebulous area. I don't want to clean that area of my car. Do it. Commit to doing it this 2012 and commit to doing it. Maybe even get started. Not maybe. Get started on Sunday, the 1st. So it's Ben 9. So then Monday, the 2nd, how can I polish and improve and perfect this whole process so far? Well, Wizard Ish, it's about alchemy and transmuting all the any negative energy, just raising it higher, raising it. So raising our energy on the 10th, on Monday the 2nd. The 10th day of the cycle. On the 11th day of the cycle, we have Tuesday, the 3rd, and we let go of what doesn't serve us. And how do we do it? We do it through the energy of men, which is the eagle in Mayan culture. Men, eagle, flying high, looking at the big picture. What really doesn't, what's superfluous? And this kind of brings us back to that whole cultural thing of like kind of collective soul shedding kind of garage sale kind of thing. Like, really look, do you need all this stuff? Like, what's cluttering your life? So take a look from the vision of the eagle, the third eye, just kind of fly high and look at the bigger picture. Do I really need this? What doesn't serve me? And this applies to people, situations, things, thoughts, energy you're placing in something. And then we have on Wednesday, which is the day of event and community and social, being social, we have Keeb the warrior. So high values, ideals, intelligence. Who are you hanging out with? And this is also tied to what we've been talking about. Who are you hanging out with? And is this who you're committed to hanging out with next year? Then finally, last but not least, we have Thursday. And Thursday, January 5th, 2012, and it's about transcendence. Think about how you can raise it up a notch and how this whole cycle can, be even greater next time around. And what we have there is just perfect, of course. We have Kaban, the earth. So thinking about the earth needs us right now. The earth needs you, me, and all of us. And as a collective, where does your food and your water supply come from? Like, where, do you know that? So maybe, like, this is, like, a higher level of thinking here. Like, okay, yeah, like, my body, but, like, my collective body, like, my food comes from this source. Like, how can I be more sustainable? That's all for today, folks. Please leave your comments below. What's your intention? What are you setting out to do in this 13 days? And I will see you on January 6th when we will begin our next 13-day cycle. Take care. Bye.